Owning your suppressed desire, the life you're not letting yourself want. What do you actually want? Not what you should want, not what's responsible, not what makes sense. What do you want? If that question makes you uncomfortable, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's call in the Fab Four, Jung, Machiavelli, Buddha, and the Stoics, because they know something most people never learn. Your suppressed desires aren't the problem. Your fear of them is. Machiavelli speaks first. Men who deny their desires become pawns of those who don't. While you're being noble and restrained, someone else is taking what you want. Jung nods slowly. Yes, but it's deeper than that. The desires you've buried don't disappear. They run your life from the shadows, through resentment, through projection, through explosive compensations you don't even recognize. Buddha adds gently, yet grasping at desire creates suffering. The one who chases every impulse is as imprisoned as the one who denies them all. Marcus Aurelius concludes, desire is natural. Suppressing it is violence against yourself, but being ruled by it is slavery. The path is integration, not elimination. If you've been living a life of shoulds instead of wants, if you feel guilty every time you desire something, if you've been so responsible that you forgot what you actually long for, subscribe right now, because we're about to set you free. Here's what happens when you suppress your desires. You don't become noble. You become resentful. You want the career change, but tell yourself it's irresponsible. You want the relationship, but convince yourself you're too damaged. You want the freedom, but decide you're too needed. You want the pleasure, but believe you don't deserve it. You want the life, but think it's selfish to take it. And what happens? You become a martyr. You build a prison of virtue, and you call it maturity. But here's what Jung discovered. Suppressed desire doesn't go away. It goes underground. It shows up as depression, anger turned inward, life force turned off, projection, hating in others what you won't claim in yourself. Explosive compensations. The person who's controlled for years suddenly has an affair, quits everything, burns their life down. Soul-crushing boredom. You've been so good for so long you forgot how to feel. The most dangerous person isn't the one who pursues their desires. It's the one who buries them and calls it righteousness. Because eventually, the dam breaks, and when it does, the destruction is total. Drop a comment if you've ever felt this. Tell me what desire you've been suppressing, because naming it is the first step to freedom. Time for the round table. The Fab Four have been circling this question for millennia. What do you do with desire? Machiavelli begins. First, let's destroy the myth that desire is wrong. It's not. Desire is power. It's the fuel of achievement, creation, empire building, and every great work that ever existed. The person without desire is already dead. He leans forward. Here's what you do. Make a list. Write down everything you want. Everything. The money, the sex, the recognition, the freedom, the revenge, the pleasure, the power. Write it all down without editing. Then ask yourself, what am I actually willing to strategize for? What am I willing to sacrifice for? What am I willing to fight for? Because desire without strategy is fantasy, and fantasy makes you bitter. Your suppressed desires are suppressed because you've been taught they're bad. But they're just information. They're telling you what you value. Use them. Channel them. Let them drive you. The man who owns his desire is dangerous in the best way, because he knows what he's playing for. Jung stands up, agitated. But Machiavelli, you're treating desire as if it's all conscious strategy. You're missing the shadow of desire. This man isn't just suppressing desire, he's suppressing parts of himself that desire represents. His voice intensifies. Maybe he wants wealth, but his family narrative says money corrupts. Maybe he wants recognition, but he learned that being seen is dangerous. The desire is pointing to a disowned self. So here's the deeper work. When you feel desire, ask, what part of me does this represent? If you desire adventure, maybe you've exiled your wild self. If you desire rest, maybe you've exiled your soft self. If you desire power, maybe you've exiled your sovereign self. The goal isn't to act on every desire. It's to integrate what the desire represents. Bring that exiled part home. Have a conversation with it. Give it space in your life. This is how desire transforms from compulsion into wholeness. Buddha smiles. My friends, you're both caught in the trap of desire itself. Jung wants to integrate it. Machiavelli wants to use it. But I'm asking, what if desire is pointing to something you think you lack? He continues, you desire wealth because you believe you lack security. You desire relationship because you believe you lack love. You desire recognition because you believe you lack worth. But these beliefs are illusions. You already are whole. The desire is just the mind creating a story of incompleteness. Here's the practice. When desire arises, don't suppress it. Don't indulge it. Just observe it. Ah, there's the desire for X. What's the feeling underneath? Usually it's fear. Fear of lack, fear of unworthiness, fear of emptiness. When you sit with the feeling instead of chasing the desire, something miraculous happens. The desire loses its grip, not because you've suppressed it, but because you've seen through its false promise. You realize you were already complete. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic, comments, Buddha speaks wisdom, but he's missing practicality. Jung speaks depth, but he's missing action. Machiavelli speaks strategy, but he's missing virtue. Let me integrate this. His voice is measured. Desire itself is neither good nor bad. It's natural. The question is, does this desire align with your character? Does it serve your flourishing? Is it within your control to pursue? Here's the Stoic practice. Examine your desires. Ask 3 questions. 1. Is this desire for something external or internal? 2. Does this desire make me more virtuous or less? 3. Am I pursuing this desire or is it pursuing me? If the desire is for external things, wealth, fame, pleasure, hold it loosely. You may not get it, so don't attach your peace to it. If it makes you less virtuous, compromises your integrity, let it go. If it's pursuing you, if you're compulsive about it, you're enslaved. Free yourself. But if the desire aligns with virtue, serves your flourishing, and you can pursue it with wisdom, then own it fully. Desire without shame, act without apology. This is freedom. After hours of debate, the FAB Four reach a stunning agreement. And this is where your life changes. The integration looks like this. Step 1. Machiavelli's honesty. Write down everything you desire. Don't edit. Don't judge. Just write. This is your shadow material. Everything you've been pretending you don't want. Step 2. Jung's integration. For each desire, ask, what part of me does this represent? Adventure equals wild self. Rest equals soft self. Power equals sovereign self. Recognition equals seen self. Bring these parts back from exile. They're not bad. They're yours. Step 3. Buddha's investigation. Sit with each desire. Feel the feeling underneath. What fear is driving this? What lack am I believing in? Can I sit with this feeling without needing to fix it or fulfill it? This removes the compulsion. Step 4. The Stoics' discernment. Examine each desire. Does it align with my character? Does it serve my flourishing? Can I pursue it with virtue? If yes, own it. If no, release it. This is wisdom. Hit that like button if you're tracking with this, because this is the roadmap to freedom. Here's what happens when you own your suppressed desires. First, you stop lying to yourself. You admit what you want. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's sex. Maybe it's freedom from obligations. Maybe it's recognition. Maybe it's revenge. Whatever it is, you name it. Second, you stop projecting. When you own your desire for power, you stop resenting powerful people. When you own your desire for pleasure, you stop judging hedonists. When you own your desire for recognition, you stop criticizing people who self-promote. Third, you stop the explosive compensations. No more midlife crises, no more sudden life implosions, because you're giving your desires space to breathe before they suffocate you. Fourth, you become integrated. You're not performing responsibility while secretly resenting it. You're not faking contentment while dying inside. You're whole, honest, alive. And here's the paradox. When you stop suppressing desire, you often stop being controlled by it. Because suppression creates obsession, but integration creates choice. The guy who admits he wants wealth can now pursue it consciously, or decide he doesn't actually need it. The guy who admits he wants sexual variety can now choose how to honor that, or recognize it's pointing to something deeper. The guy who admits he wants freedom can now create it, or understand what he's actually running from. The FAB Four would leave you with this. Your desires aren't your enemy. Your fear of them is. Jung says, integrate what they represent. Machiavelli says, use them strategically. Buddha says, see through their promise. The Stoics say, align them with virtue. All of them say, stop pretending you're too evolved to want things. Here's your practice this week. Write down 3 desires you've been suppressing. 3 things you want, but have been too guilty, too scared, or too mature to admit. Don't act on them yet. Just name them. Then ask yourself, what part of me is this desire representing? What would integration look like? What would aligned action look like? Subscribe for more wisdom from the Fab Four. Comment below with one desire you're ready to own. Let's build a community of people who've stopped lying to themselves about what they want. Your desires aren't the problem. Your relationship with them is. Change the relationship. Reclaim your life. Share this with someone who you know would benefit from having this freedom. Guide them to view this video. Help make the world a more peaceful place. See you on the next video.